Yeah, go ahead.
You're live.
We are live. I try to always take a drink of water right before we go live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So my name is Garrett Hartle. This is Out Reptiles. And today we are here to talk to you mostly about retic personalities, the different personalities between different animals, different personalities, different times of rooms, right? Different time of year, right, Jess?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be the main theme. And these questions that we're addressing, in case those of you guys who are new and are wondering what we're going to try to do to be able to interact with you guys, is if you are on Patreon, which you can join on the link below at any level, you're free to ask as many questions as you want, and we will interrupt ourselves, or Jess will interrupt me, rather. So everyone say hi to Jess. Same reaction every time. I love it. But what you want to do is you can either join Patreon, ask these questions in advance, we'll go through those, or if you super chat, Jess will interrupt me and I will jump right in. So before we get going with our first question from Patreon, I just wanted to say thank you to you guys who are helping us out as we're running these sales throughout the month. I was overwhelmed. We had a tremendous response, right, Jess? To all of the sales that were going on for the animals, to the point where Jess was like, I never want to do a sale again.
Yes.
Which was awesome. So I have nobody, obviously, but you guys to thank for that. And as a way to show appreciation for everybody that, you know, maybe can't buy a snake for us, but wants to kind of support what we're doing here and everything, this week I'm extending our employee discount on all of the logo swag. So that would be like the sweater. This is my favorite. I'll show you. We got the sweater here, guy's hoodie. It's a nice zip up. It's like a heavy duty sweater. We've got our new logo shirts. The hats are super cool. I love the way that these age. This one's all old and worn out, and I just think they look better and better with time. We have some other stuff here, right, Jess? So it would be any of
the old logo stuff too.
Yeah, we've got old logo stuff for those of you guys who like the original logo. That's while supplies last, because we're not ordering any more. And then we've got kids stuff. So, new logo kids shirts. I've got old logo ladies tees. These are super cool sweaters too if you like the vintage logo. Big heavy duty stitching. Now these are like a lighter thing, so if you like to layer up, those are great. Anyway.
The women's tees too, the colored ones.
Oh yeah, we got the girls. So we have, there's either like the branded logo girls tees. These are kind of like a baby doll tee, fitted, right? And then we've got pink and blue, which I'm throwing all over the floor. Special deal on this one. But so we've got ladies tees on there. Anyways, all of that stuff, you guys can go to reachoutreptiles.com, check out any of that thing. So you know what's our code? What's our coupon code?
It's
that they need to
in
use?
the description, but it's EMP
EMP
swag.
like employee swag. So you can just enter that on checkout, 25% off all of that stuff. And how long are we running that?
Just till Friday.
Friday at 5?
Yeah.
So that's the sale. Hey, what's up, everybody? We got some people jumping on here. Lori Torini, we always love having you. Guys, if you guys haven't checked out, I'm just going to shout out one of our commenters real quick. Lori Torini has probably the coolest, best kept secret type YouTube channel on the internet. She does amazing scientific research on animal behavior studies and things like that. I found her through Morelia Python Radio, and she actually has one of our Superdorf crosses that she works with to just kind of gauge their trainability and stuff. So if you guys want to learn more about personalities, you got to go there. What's up, guys? John Feely, how you doing, man? So that's it for the sale. Let's get right into it. Personalities. What's our first Patreon question?
Let's see. So we're gonna do the behavior ones.
Yeah.
Benjamin.
Zach Webb is in the house. What's up, Zach?
Yeah, Benjamin would like to know the best ways to work with flighty or neglected retics that have been rescued.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Probably different at different ages too.
Yeah. So we actually have, is your video going up tomorrow?
Not if I can help it.
There's a big smile on Jess right now. We actually got Jess in a video tomorrow that kind of talks about desensitizing retics. You're definitely going to want to check that one out for this question. What we did was we started working with the snake, and it might look a little bit rough. Lori, I'd be interested to hear your take on this, because I think your philosophy on letting them come out to you and all that kind of stuff is is really cool. But what do you do if you have an animal that's super defensive, you know, especially in a rescue type situation? That was kind of what we were working with there. And basically, you want to build up a relationship of trust with the animal by understanding its triggers and the areas that are uncomfortable with it, teaching it to be comfortable with you, working around those areas of discomfort for the animal, and then eventually starting to do, I approach it like mammal training too, almost like an exposure therapy. For example, dogs with PTSD that were like service dogs and things, you know, what they'll do is they'll find their comfort zone, build up a relationship of trust, and then work through those areas that they're uncomfortable with to help them get past that. We do the same thing. Jess, you remember the snake from tomorrow's video? You guys are going to have to come back and watch if you want to see it. Remember how you got her all trained and she was wonderful and everything?
Yeah.
But then if you would put her down somewhere on a flat surface
She
to try to
had
take a
nothing
picture,
to do with it. Yeah.
she would totally freak out and everything else. So that was pretty funny. But we were able to eventually work her through that and everything as well. So definitely check that video out if you want to see it. And that's kind of what I would do. I would just, you know, like Lori's training talks about, you know, you approach the animal as it is comfortable, you build up trust, and then you work through it. And in that video, obviously, we're having like a 5-minute interaction, and it was
here.
It was something. Yeah, it was actually Chris's
Super
snake.
chat. No,
Uh-oh.
he's super chat.
Oh, okay. Woohoo! Thank you, Chris. Oh, do I have to do the dance now? I forgot. I don't just get to spin in my chair. This is for you, Chris. It was actually Chris Gear's animal. So, Chris, why don't you tell us in the comments, how did she turn out?
He did. That's what his super chat is.
Oh, okay. What's up? What's up?
He said she's amazing now.
Oh, okay. Very cool. So, yeah, Chris actually got the animal, and I think she strikes at us several times. She landed one on you in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to tune in if you want to watch Jessica get bit by a baby snake. But, yeah, she was a spaz. And we just worked with her. We built it up and then, you know, kind of tossed her around different people. She was never that comfortable around Rob, huh?
No.
Yeah.
She could see him across the room.
I don't know what it is with Rob, but yeah, he basically, I don't know, he's rough or he's too afraid or whatever. I'm taking it off, Brian. Jeez, I'm not here to keep you awake. Brian Kusko's in the house, everybody. The man, the myth, the legend. Good. I like the debate with Clint. That was fun. Yeah, it says she struck at Chris once while she was in shed. Yeah, so I mean, you know, we laid the groundwork, and then the idea is to kind of replicate that and move her forward. So, very cool.
Super chat.
Uh-oh, super chat. Woohoo! Legacy Retics, what's going on? New facility. Okay, here, updates on the new facility. Doesn't exist yet. We found a place. I love it. It's $500,000. Jess, I think you kind of liked it. And it's going to take us a lot more money than whatever the facility costs to actually, you know, make it a reptile place too.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite yet.
Yeah, we're shopping. You don't like that $500,000 place? That place was awesome. What don't you like about it? This is the new poster too, guys. You got to check that out. Oh, come on. You don't have to be shy anymore. You have a whole video coming up tomorrow. It was great.
That's plenty.
Anyway, yeah, so we have we are trying to get through it. You know, part of it is just lining up funding and all that kind of stuff. We're a little bit on a holding pattern till the end of the year. I can get those fourth quarter earnings in for the bank and all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I want to do.
Another super chat.
But, okay. Woo-hoo! Who is it?
SoCal Herps.
Oh, Matt, what are you doing on here? You were already on our other live feed. We did a quickie one on... He's saying put it back on?
He said, yeah, since Brian said take it off, I'm saying put it back on.
Oh, man, now I'm going to be hot. Do I have to wear a sweater the whole time just because someone super chatted it? I'm a little vague on the rules. I don't know how that works. All right, what's our next Patreon question? Let's get back. These guys are taking over.
I like that you listened.
I
I want to see what else they can make you do.
Rob was making fun of me earlier with Jess because he's like, if you hand Garrett anything, he'll just take it.
He does.
He keeps handing me random stuff.
Especially when you're on the phone.
Mm.
You can hand him anything while he's on the phone.
Why are we making this public knowledge? Oh, man.
Okay.
Ryan says he got bit the other day, but he blames the cat. Cats are always to blame for everything. Let's do it.
Well, did you talk about rescued animals?
yeah, I mean, that was kind of it. We'll go
Okay.
watch the video for tomorrow. Yeah, tee into it.
That wasn't talking about it. That was pushing it off till tomorrow.
Jessica wants me to talk longer about a question. This is opposite. Build
Okay,
a
well,
relationship
how
of
about-
trust with the animal where it's comfortable, and then slowly move into its discomfort zone. You might expect a little bit of pushback, but that's kind of
What
working
if-
through it.
What if you rescue an older animal?
It's the same thing. It's just way crazier. You guys can go watch Brian Cusco's. Oh, thank you, Brian. Woohoo, super chat. Take it off. I like it. I like it. Matt, no more super chatting for you. It's too hot. Oh man, no, actually, Cusco has a cool video. You need to make a playlist or something, Brian, with that pied girl. But he tried to work through with her, and I think he did a pretty good job. And you know, I certainly was able to handle her and stuff. Some of the animals are just gonna be tough. You know, there's so many negative experiences banked that they might not ever totally get over it. But if you can work out a system that works with you and the animal, then that's the best way to do it.
Okay, Tristan wants to know, how do wild dwarfs and super dwarfs compare to wild mainlands as far as temperament and personality? And how do captive bred born ones compare to the captive bred born mainlands?
Let's go show them.
Okay.
Okay, come on, guys. So, first of all, to say mainland is probably too big of a generality. I mean, these animals, like Indonesia, just that one country alone has 17,000 islands. Not all of them have retics on them, but I mean, that's potentially 17,000 localities, right? So we have 7 dwarf and super dwarf localities here, and you're going to have variances between individuals, and then you're going to have variations from locality to locality. So one really cool example would be like, let me see. You know, a retic at its worst will be a wild-caught male during breeding season, right? Oh, sorry, bud. After when you bounce his head off of the racks as you take him out, that's the worst. This is our wild-caught Carrampa male during breeding season, literally in with the female the other night. Okay, so, and he is, you can tell he's not super comfortable around me. But this locality, for whatever reason, just seems to be a very, very chill locality. They're active, certainly, but they're not jumpy. You know, I don't know. They sit on you better. They don't try to like stiffen up like a board and take off, even with the wild caught stuff. And so this, for being an adult breeder male, really, really good. Now, not every super dwarf is going to be like that, but the Carrampa locality seems to be really chill. Here's an adult breeder. This is actually a dwarf, which is one thing I always try to tell you guys. I don't know if you listen, because a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't know if I want a dwarf. I'd rather have a super dwarf. This is a wild-caught Jampea, so it's a different locality. And these are technically, you know, according to the pet trade, called dwarfs instead of super dwarfs. Obviously, this one's really small. I don't know how much of this translates across through the camera, but this guy's way more nervous and fidgety, holds on tighter. He's still a pretty good boy. I don't have any terrible ones. I had a really, really bad Bhutan locality male that would just, every time you open the cage, he'd fly out with his mouth open, almost as though he was rocketing himself forward with pee and musk, and then he would get lodged in a rack somewhere. And, you know, I mean, he was just an absolute nightmare. So, but you're going to have individual variations. The other thing is, even though this is a wild caught, an older animal, he and I have been through it. We've worked together. You know, we've interacted a lot. I try to get them, I don't expect him to be like a captive bred animal or anything. You can see how he's still a little nervous. If I open it up again, he could probably come flying out. But I want to work with him to the point at least where he's comfortable enough to be around me, that it doesn't stress him out every time I move him, every time I do anything. That's basically the goal with that. You know, on the other hand, if I had a captive bred, let me see. Okay, here's another example. So this would be a mainland. This is a Sulawesi, different locality, but this is a captive bred animal Sulas are usually really, really awful. I don't have a wild-caught one here to show you, but this is an adult breeder male, young adult, who was actually locked up with a female today. So again, I was just holding two different breeder males. Usually these big male retics, they identify me as a competitive male, so things can get a little dicey during breeding season. You always got to watch them. But this is a captive bred and born animal. I had him since before his first shed, and raised him here, and he is just absolutely amazing. You know, I don't know if you guys can see, he's very charged up, super amped up, but he's mostly looking for his female, you know what I mean? And also maybe half expecting a fight from other breeder males with the scent and everything, but that's a mainland. And so his personality to me is about the same as the wild-caught dwarfs. So I don't know if that's to say those certain dwarfs are nicer. Sulawesi's are usually really, really crazy, you know. And the localities definitely have different personalities with them. Captive breeding helps a lot. I think it's 100% nature, or nurture over nature rather, because you can take even really spastic localities and work with them. This would be another pure locality. This is a mainland. It's called a Halmhera. Ooh, she's striking for you. Come here, baby. This would be an example, Lori, of what I was talking about. Like, she struck at me and everything. Obviously doesn't want to come out. I don't know what you would do in this situation. What I try to do is bring her out and have a positive experience. Can you get the color on this thing, Jess? Halmheras are pretty rare in captivity. She's super dark. They're almost like an IMG boa, but it's a pure locality, not a morph. And so this is a young female. And she was striking at me in the beginning. And one of the big things to do is from a perspective of like taming down a snake is not allow her to dictate what you do with her because she strikes. In other words, if she struck at me and then I left her alone, I'm rewarding her. I'm giving her what she wants, and she'll learn, hey, if you just strike at these people, they're going to leave you alone. Look at a rainbow on that thing. Ooh, is that beautiful. I think this is one of the prettiest localities. But that's a mainland Halmhera. This is not something we breed or work with. I just maintain a few of the localities I think are rare because I don't want them to disappear. So sometimes it's like one of those, if you're going to do it right, you got to do it yourself sort of deals. I just want to make sure that they're around.
Summer Mitchell was asking, do you find hook training effective?
Very, yeah. So with hook training, basically what we want to do, let me show you what hook training looks like. With hook training, what you're trying to do is basically teach the animal that it's not in food mode, which I don't know if you guys can see, but to set the context, this is probably a little bit of a morbid scene, but you can show them. There's a bunch of feeders that are, set out because we're going to, start thawing these for tomorrow. Woohoo!
You got a super chat.
All right. Was that Summer's super chat as well?
No.
Duran. What's up, Duran? How's it going? You going to tell me or just going to watch me dance?
Duran, who's your most difficult snake currently that would completely strike like the button?
I'll
The
show
like
you.
button. Sorry.
We'll take them out. Okay, so this girl has a huge a huge feeding response. She loves to come flying out. Hey, honey. She's a coyote head albino. Can you see inside there, Jess? Apologize if it's dirty. Tomorrow's cleaning day, which is probably a bad idea to schedule wise. So this is what you want to do with feed. You can see she's sniffing. She's checking everything out. If I offered her a warm-blooded hand right now, she might try to take a bite first and ask questions later. But if I pet her on the head with a hook, like I've done every time her whole life, she comes out of that food mode. And what I want to do is just remove her from the hook. And the hook is great because it has no heat signature like a warm-blooded hand does. People are always like, oh, mine's so tame, I can give it my hand and it knows the difference. And I believe you. But if that snake makes a mistake, you're still getting bit. So by hook training, it's not going to bite the hook. There is no heat signature. And that's the reason why she's so calm is because of hook training. I mean, I think I've taken food response bites on these live feeds before. So I don't know that I need to do it again. But a snake like that, will come flying out, grab the first warm-blooded thing that it's like heat-seeking heat pits find, and grab them. So that's that. Duran wants to know about the most difficult. Do you guys remember Jess, I don't know if we're able to we'll have to put an info card on here for anyone that watches after live, but there was a video where a female took a bite at me, and it was a food response mistake, like we were talking about right there. And then she kind of trained herself that she likes to try to eat humans. She had, after that mistake, there was a series of other people that got bit, and this was my fault because these people came over and kind of macho guys. I'll poke fun. G.I. Joe, are you on here? He was one of them. I won't say everybody who it was, but there's a couple people like, oh, she's fine, I can handle her. And this sounds like really bad for him or whatever, but this girl is, she was very sneaky about it. You know, she would be acting nice and then bite and wrap you, and she just, after a few mistakes in a row, she just kind of started to get confused and would actually go into food response. In fact, in one video, Rob had taken a shirt off that he was working in, he put it in the cage, she went down, sniffed it, bit it, and wrapped it, and she was looking for food. So the funny thing is, and this is a good one about different times of year, you know, their temperament and behavior. But Jess, can you see this girl in here? So this is our dwarf golden child platinum anery girl, and she's gravid right now. So the thing about being gravid is they're usually off food. So this animal that normally can't be trusted, if I just give her a little pet on the head to say, hey darling, you know, we're not here to feed you. This hook is entirely too small. Should have grabbed a real size hook. But anyway, so this girl would be normally continually trying to eat me. But she is actually a really sweet snake. So some of it is just understanding, like, what is their deal? Are they actually trying to eat you? What's going on? Look at her now. When she's not interested in food, it doesn't matter if you're a rat petting her on the head or a human or whatever. She don't care. And we can take advantage of this situation and use it for training experience, that if she's not in food mode, we can really stack up a bunch of totally positive, interactive situations for her to understand that we're good. It's not something to be threatened by, not something to fight, not something to eat. And hopefully after this breeding season, we can have
another
her
super chat
come out and just be totally awesome and ready to go. But this is one of my most difficult animals to work with on a normal basis. And because she doesn't have a food response, she's fine. So her unique situation is that she tries to eat people, which is probably not a good trait to have as a snake. She's not defensive or scared. She tries to eat people. So we got a super chat. Who's super chatting?
Summer Mitchell
Hey, Summer.
for $4.99. I think she just paid you for the question you answered.
Oh, retrospective.
She didn't say anything, unless there's another comment.
What's up, Summer?
Oh, here's a comment.
Okay.
Are there any relatively consistent personality differences you notice between males and females?
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's kind of like a dog. You know, I think if you have enough dogs, you can start to notice male and female differences. And they're in different ways. Males sometimes will become very sort of like alpha oriented or macho and things like that. And that does happen with snakes a little bit. But for the most part, I think male dogs are kind of like just happy-go-lucky. What's going on, boss? You know, and I think that the male retics have that as well. In fact, with the super dwarf retics, for a lot of first pets, I usually recommend males. I know mainland retic breeders are like, don't get a male because it can be a liability. If you have a male that's as big as that dwarf female, and you know, and he's acting macho and wants to go for you or something, you have a problem. But if you have something like this Jampea, and he really tries to mess you up, there's only so much he can do, you know. So I recommend males. Plus, it's really only when they're breeding that they can become problematic. So if you're not breeding it, it's great for a pet situation. And all three males I just showed you are mature males. I pulled them out one after the other during breeding season, like while they're all breeding, and we didn't have any issues. Females, on the other hand, are good, but they cycle yearly just like the males do. They'll have, you know, be predictable for most of the year and then have a really heightened food response right before the breeding season. So you got to watch for that. Then they can go off food. Plus you can have different issues, I think, with not breeding them long term. So if you were going to get a pet, it doesn't necessarily make sense to have a female that is never going to be bred. I definitely would go for a male with that. Personality-wise, though, I think that the males are just kind of dumb and happy-go-lucky, and females, you know, are. I guess I would say like males are more dog-like, females are more cat-like, but it's super, super minute. This is me examining them under a microscope. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you would notice that much difference on a day-to-day basis. So yeah. Do you know what our next question is? Do we have it?
No, I can go see.
Okay.
You going back out?
Well, let's do this. Summer, didn't you get, what was your pure Superdwarf? Was that from, I can't remember which bloodline. I think you got one of this girl's sister. Was yours hatched February 19th? I want to compare. Summer always has cool stuff. This is a pure Superdwarf. This is basically, she's from a wild-caught, imported Kalatoa, gorgeous Kalatoa female. And then the male was a captive bred animal. Very, very likely a Kalatoa. I just don't 100% trust him. His genetics. Yeah, Giles, was he February? Was he a February hatch? I think this is his sister. But what's up? Hi. Cola's on in the house. So this is pretty cool. So we don't call it a Kalatoa just for the off chance that for some reason it's not because of the captive bred father. You know, like if it has a little Madu or has a little Karampa in there, I don't want to mess up captive bred Kalatoa lines to make a sale or whatever. So we just call them pure Superdwarf. Beautiful animal. But yeah, there's one for you. What's our next question, Jess?
Ryan wanted to know about different behaviors in males and females when in breeding season.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, we kind of talked about that a little bit. When you're breeding, the males become really possessive over females. So you have to, I can probably show you this too. It's like the height of breeding season, so this stuff is actually pretty easy to illustrate right now. This would be a shameless plug for Patreon or whatever, but at our breeder level, which is currently filled, we actually take you guys through a lot of this stuff behind the scenes and talk about breeding and all this kind of stuff. So can we show them this right now? This is the pair that's coming out on Friday's video about how to palpate females and see if they have eggs. But we have a female het amel in here and a male amelanistic. So that white boy is the male, this guy right here, and this is his female. I think he's sleeping. But if I was to go in as a male and start playing with his female, let's see how he acts. He's normally a sweetheart. This is actually one of Aiden's favorite snakes to handle. Okay, I don't know, see if you see that guy lunging forward? He's not looking for food. He's very intent with his tongue flicking. He wants to smell, see what's going on. And I don't know if you guys can see him, but he's just very much like on guard with that female. Give him some movement. Hey, I'm over here. What's up, buddy? What's up? Down here. And he's kind of like, hey, you know, even just the way he is resting when we come up here, how he's all curled up with his head pointing forwards. It's such a beautiful small male. Can you guys see that? This is so cool. But he is like on guard and ready to defend that female. So this is the biggest difference that you have with an old mature male like this. This is one of the very first Superdwarf A-males ever produced from the original breeders of them. Do you see how twitchy he is and how tight, even when I'm touching him with a hook? Unlike the animal, you see that sideways twitch at it and everything, he's very combative. And unlike the animal I showed you earlier when I pet her with the hook, she retreated because she's used to that, and off she goes. This guy is not retreating. He'll start throwing arches. He's very much does not want to be removed from his female, so they can make life a little bit difficult. And you know, obviously, if you had a mainland male that someone's like, oh yeah, just don't feed it, and it won't get very big, but still would get bigger than these guys, you can have some pretty serious issues trying to handle these snakes. But I don't know if you notice, he is he's not like striky and lungy and crazy or anything like that. But I think if I offered him my hand when he was in the cage like that, he would probably have a go. You know, he just kind of like you know what, I don't want to mess with it today. Woo! I don't know, did you guys see him looking at me? He's coming around sideways. What they do, it's a very slow and calculated, I'm gonna grab you type of a thing. So the best way to deal with a male like this, even a super combative male that is on a female currently, I just basically simplify it down to like keep the pointy end away from you and you'll be okay. If you handle him with a hook, you can kind of control the front of the body and the hook here so that he can't come back around and get you, and then you can hold the latter part of their body, almost like you were, well, this might be, oh, sorry, buddy. He's trying to come back out and get me. I slapped him with the glass. Serves you right. This serves you right. Yes, it does. Nah, he's a good boy. Actually, that's what you want out of a male. I mean, this guy's a rock star breeder. And then as soon as he's done breeding that female, like, he's a sweetheart again. Like I said, Aiden is very much like, this snake loves me, this snake hates me. You know what I mean? And that's one of his absolute favorite snakes because he is such kind of like a cuddly and curious animal. So that's what you have. That's combative male, you know, activity. And again, this is a captive bred animal that I have a relationship with. And so he's pretty good. You know, if you had a wild caught male that was all riled up, put some gloves on, it could be a battle, you know. So
Ryan's second question was, as a keeper, what are some things that we can do to influence different behaviors?
I mean, I think we almost also did that. I mean, the number one thing I would say, if you're nervous or new, definitely get a baby. Come over here. Let me show you. Well, here's a cute little dude. This guy is a few months old, and I want to show you the difference. He came in pretty good. He's from John Cashman. John Cashman always seems to have sweet babies. Definitely different breeders. You'll notice different temperaments coming from them. There are some breeders that just everything that comes from them seems to be hyped up and angry, and I don't know if it's the way they handle them or what. But John's babies are usually pretty sweet. But this guy was very twitchy, very jumpy, and everything when he first came in a couple of months ago. And again, I just got to say, tune back in for tomorrow's video with Jess about desensitizing the animals. It's basically about developing a relationship where and when and how the animal is comfortable with you, and then expanding from there into activities that the animal might not be comfortable with. But the common factor will always be that the snake is with you, and he will eventually learn he doesn't get hurt when he's with you. You know, that you're not there to fight, you're not there to hurt him, and then you guys can start that relationship, hey buddy, from a place of trust in the beginning. And then the big thing is, if something does go wrong, you need to be that calming, reassuring presence to the animal so that they can get over it. Let me show you an example. So this is actually, he's got a little dwarf and super dwarf in him, but he's technically a mainland because he's less than 50%. Let me show you a straight up mainland right here. And this guy is something that we will be working into our breeding projects. So this is a newer baby from a different breeder, and it's kind of a fresh bloodline too. So a lot closer to wild caught than a lot of animals are. Not a whole ton of generations captive bred. And this guy we've been very intentionally working with, but you know, he's only a couple of months old. I mean, look at the difference. That snake there with a little bit of dwarf and super dwarf from him from John Cashman is about the same size as this snake. This snake's 2 months old. And that snake there, I think, is like 6 or 7 months old. And then if you look at some of these guys, like, I don't know. Here's a pure Carrampa that's a year old.
Super chat.
Super chat. Woohoo! Look at this pure Carrampa next to a 2-month-old mainland. And this is from supposedly one of the smaller growing mainland bloodlines, but there's a little bit of a difference there. Super chat. Anyway, this guy's twitchy. So if you do a super chat dance with him every now and then, he may not be comfortable with that. I love to just...
The dance is evolving.
touch them all over. Yeah, exactly. I love to pet them on the head. I try to come up in a way that's comfortable. I get them to where they're in this mood where they're curious, they're looking around, they're not jumpy anymore. And then I come up and I do these weird things like, I'm going to pet you on the face. I'm going to touch you on the eye. You know, these sensitive areas around the neck, the face, the tail is a big one where they normally are jumpy. So if I play with them everywhere there so that they're used to seeing those areas be handled and touched, then if anything ever comes up lately, they're not such a big deal. You know, the other thing would just turn them upside down, do things that are uncomfortable for them, but doesn't hurt them, and
Ryan's excited he got his answers twice.
Yeah, build up that relationship. So there you go, captive bred mainland, like a month and a half old, growing fast. So what was the super chat?
Super chat is Chase Twitchell.
What's up, Chase?
It says, thank you, ROR fam. Hang on, it's going away. Thank you, ROR fam, for all the positivity and information you bring to the community. Fan customer for life.
Yeah. Let me show you.
Now that dance, please.
I gave you the dance. Look at it. I'll give you something else too. This is a cool platinum girl. Take a look at this. I won't tell anyone else why I'm showing you this, but this was her. Isn't that a cool 50% Calatoa Platy? Super reduced pattern on this one. She's going to be, look at the tail, all striped out. She's going to be crazy high yellow. Nothing nice. She is pos head albino too, so maybe that's why she's so bright. Sometimes I head albino. People almost superstitiously think you can pick them out, but certainly makes sense to me that they would be a little brighter than normal. Pretty cool. I like it. So what's our next Patreon question? I don't know if you guys see, even just the way we put them away, you're not throwing them in there, but we just kind of like allow them to crawl back in. I'm not smacking her tail or anything to get it in. Just let her go in herself. Oh, I wanted to give you guys another example. To Duran, your super chat, you wanted to say what was the most like kind of crazy snake we had right now. You guys might remember if you've been tuning into these lives. Do you remember this super dwarf tiger female that came flying out at Jess, and I had to like grab her hands and move it back and not get her bit? Can we link? We can do info cards, right? So wherever it goes,
I can
we'll
put it in the
right
description.
Here. Yeah, I don't remember what the timestamp was or anything, but this is another one. So she was super crazy, super flighty, super defensive. Not raised by us. She was brought up by somebody else, and now she's gravid. So she's a beautiful animal, great, dark, tiger, all that kind of stuff. She's a little bit chunky, so we've got her in this, big kind of arboreal setup cage, and she's very shy, so we've got her nice big hide box and everything, little special treatment with her there. But this is the animal, you couldn't open this cage without her coming at you. I mean, she would stalk up and then just come straight at the camera, for those of you guys that remember. And now that she's gravid, I definitely still don't trust her, but she's just a little bit more shy and protective. She's not coming out at us, but she will retreat and try to move away. You know what I mean? And so it's interesting to see. I don't know if you guys remember her, but she was absolutely coming out and just lunging at us before. And I think if we encroach on her and stuff like that, she'd probably strike and try to defend herself and everything. Can you guys see her head size compared to her body size? A lot of times people don't understand when an animal's too thick. Now she's gravid, so she has put on a little extra weight, but she's very round in cross section with a real small head. Kind of shows me that she has really good small size genetics, and probably even smaller genetics than her body size and type would lead on. She's 75% Cubis Calatoa. But I mean, just what I did there, and I think if I kept pushing her, she probably would, grab a hold of me or strike at me, do the defensive thing, try to push me away. But now that she's a mom and she's on eggs, she's got to take a little bit of responsibility for her actions, I don't know. But she's mellowed out quite a bit. So it's a good opportunity for us to just have those little positive interactions like we just had, show her that we're not there to hurt her. Anytime that we see that opportunity, we try to take it. And I don't know, we really have a lot of super mellow snakes around here. I don't have a lot to show them. That's crazy.
You also have a super chat.
Oh no. Another one?
Yes.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay, what do you guys want to know?
This one is Marshall Law Morphs.
Oh, what's up, Marshall?
Love my poster. Thank you for everything. I need to jump in on Patreon.
You should. You would love it, sir. Especially you. It's a great place for networking. All the cool people are there. But yeah, definitely jump in there. What is the level that they get the behind the scenes on the Dwarf of the Day stuff on Instagram, Jess?
That's the keeper. Yeah.
Yeah, that level you get a lot of really great, bonus stuff and everything like that. And I think you would really like it. It's a great place to learn more in depth about bloodlines, localities, percentages, morphs, all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want to educate yourself, you can throw it on there. Look at this guy. Come over here. Goober. He's still after me. He won't forgive me. There's a big gap in these cages. One of the flaws in these sliding glass designs. You keep stuffing it in there. Go back. Go back. Look at him. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. You little silly guy. Go back with your female. What would you love? Oh, let me show you another personality. I don't know how this one will go. Or if I can...
Well, let's see.
You got another question?
Yeah, well, while you're pulling stuff out, Holton wanted to see the white diamond line.
Oh, white diamond line stuff. Okay, well, we can pull a couple of those out. Get a couple of girls here. Let's use our hook. Always want to do our due diligence. So, you know, again, using the hook is really just telling the animal what's up. So this is a, she's almost 3. White diamond line, Anery tiger. This is the Anery tiger that everyone's like, oh my goodness, can I have that animal? I mean, besides your Anery tiger, obviously, Holton, if you're watching.
His is really beautiful.
Yeah, he's got a baby version that looks a lot like this. And everyone's like, Anery tiger is my favorite, but they usually have seen her. If you guys haven't seen our Anery morph spotlight video, this is the little girl that's hanging with me in the beginning. She's squeezing me. She smells those feeders. She's still in food mode. Hey, you're not going to eat. We'll pull her out. This is white diamond line. So it is Anery tiger morph, which is nice. But if you just go buy an Anery tiger, I'm sorry, you're not going to get one that looks like this. This is the nicest Anery tiger I've ever seen. And the white diamond line, there's something about it that just gives them this bubbly pattern and high definition clean look, like giant white side rosettes that kind of blend in. She still thinks she's going to eat. Figure it out, girl. Needs some little more training. One of the things that, you know, if you really know your animals, like I said, she's about 3 years old. If she still wants to eat and I'm petting her on the head and this was worked her whole life and she's still like, I don't know if you guys can tell. This little takes a little bit, I guess, to read body language of snakes because they don't have facial expressions. But just the way she's grabbing me real tight and coming back and like looking for, I know I got food in here somewhere. Where is it? You know, like see her trying to coil up on me. Instead of curiously cruising, she keeps doubling back and thinking, where's the food? Where's the food? And if I move towards her or away from her too quickly, she might think it's that rat on the end of some tongs or something to throw her. But if she's wanting to chow down on food, I'm going to have to talk with Rob about her later because she might be wanting to start breeding, cycling. My point was, if you know your females, and this one, for example, is very smart, but she is not coming out of food mode. Just a really, really heightened, you know, desire to get some food right now. She's probably, I should palpate her. Give you a preview of Free Tip Friday too. Ooh, could you hear that? Oh, I feel it. Little tiny, they're like pea-sized. Yep, she's got follicles. Not quite ready, but a couple of months of heavy feeding to prep her for some food. Hey, baby. If you want to know what it was that I was just doing there, you got to come back on Friday. So don't miss Thursday and Friday's videos. That's one white diamond line. I kept a normal from the white diamond line just because she is phenomenal. And to be honest with you, the white diamond line, it's named after a male that I've had for a very long time. This is my most selectively bred bloodline, just to be nice. So when you have a great bloodline like this, everything comes out. Like, yeah, you can have an Anery tiger. Do we have another Anery tiger to show them? Maybe one that has sold, like a more standard looking. I don't think I have one for comparison. There was one on our Instagram recently. But anyway, when you have those really crazy bloodlines, you can selectively breed for a lot of cool traits. Let me bring her over in the light. So this is a normal pattern, non-morph, white diamond line animal. I don't know if you notice, but her pattern is like absolutely penciled in, consistent, one scale wide, tons of like a perfectly evenly matched gold versus silver to her pattern. Now she's a het snow, and the het Anery really shows. She looks very kind of green, gold, and het Anery looking, but a lot of people have said, is that a sunfire? Is that a platinum? What is it? And people find her picture all the time too on our Instagram page from when she was a baby. They go, I just want a good looking normal like this. And then, you know, I can show them other normals, but not every normal, quote unquote normal, is the same. This one has close to 20 years of selective breeding for this look. So you can imagine if I put platinum on top of that animal, you have this amazing canvas in a small size. These are 3-year-old females. Like I said, that one's got follicles now. So she's like a young adult female. So it's a great, very size reduced, very color and pattern. That's why you're asking about it. White diamond. I'm trying to breed. I still have old man Grandpa Snow. He's quite a bit bigger and everything, but we use him to really small females like these ones, Mom, to shrink the bloodline down. And and continue to do it. And I don't really care, honestly, at this point, what morph I put into them. I just think what can make that pattern better. And I have a lot of cool morphs and stuff, but it's all about pushing that bloodline forward. So whatever I need to put to it, I'll show you, for example, one that I think would be cool. This is a citron or a het titanium. And citrons are, okay. You guys see the food response here? Let me show you difference in personalities. If I don't hook train him, look at him. He's like looking everywhere for food. Come on, buddy. If I don't use a hook and I'm giving him this big heat signature, he's looking everywhere for food. And he's smart, but he's getting confused by it because I'm approaching him as though I have food, even though I don't. Good boy. And it's just not nice. It's not nice to the snake to you'd be like, oh, I trust them. It's like just train them so you don't have to trust them and they can know. Look how clean this thing is. Now this is a morph. It's a het titanium, but it's obviously come from a very clean, very banded line as well. See the banding in the pattern? Really clean, beautiful. Doesn't he look a lot like that normal double het snow? I have very few animals that look like this. You know, typically your normals, I don't know, you can grab any other normal. Hey girl, don't bite. Let me show you a typical, here's a typical normal super dwarf. Right? This is actually a pretty cool looking super dwarf. But look at that one. It's a night and day difference. So if I can keep taking animals like this and selectively breeding them to be bright and gold, and then keep taking animals like this and breed them to be chaotic and pebbly, it'd be great. So, anyway, that's selective breeding. Truly selective. Whoops, sorry. Remember I said don't grab their tail on their butt to freak them out? All right. What's our next
I have a
Patreon?
couple more questions that aren't related to
Okay, bring it.
behavior.
Same thing for you guys. If you're on Super Chat, you want to know anything, let me know. It's not all about the dance.
Nathan would
Okay.
like to know, at what point should you start an LLC when breeding snakes?
I mean, you can start it at any point. It's probably the easiest way to do it is like go on LegalZoom.com and poke around and see that kind of stuff. I would think the best thing about starting an LLC is the ability to keep the finances and everything separate, but you can actually do that before you have officially filed. So LLC, definitely have it before you start selling animals, right? Or even like if I had people coming over here for a YouTube channel or something, I'd probably file with an LLC, have insurance, all that kind of stuff. But that, for most people, can come later. The thing you should really be doing in the beginning, I don't know if you're doing this yet or not, Nathan, is open a separate business account for your animals. It can still be in your private name, but you should be buying every animal, every feeder, every cage, every thermostat from that separate bank account and tracking all your expenses. If you're taking money out of your 9-to-5 job to buy those snakes, deposit that money as a transfer into that account and spend it from there and balance that checkbook. That way you know how much you're in. You know that bank will be able to help you track all those expenses. Do all of that from the beginning. That's going to help you when you file your taxes and when you ultimately set up your LLC. You know, you can do all that. You can have all that kind of knowledge and records of the actual expenses and true cost for you with your animals and your situation. So that's the thing to start at the beginning. A separate bank account that you run everything through. And say, you know, your project takes you $5,000 from start to finish and you got eggs and you have money now and you're paying yourself back. You can pay back that $5,000, you know, to yourself in that account, and the rest you know is profit. And you can actually use that profit to start your LLC. That's probably, I would think, short answer, the best balanced way. It's always going to be a little bit different. Talk to your tax person or your CPA about it. They could probably give you a better answer. But I think that's the best thing to do. Thing is, a lot of people will go file an LLC, come up with a cute name, so-and-so exotics, you know, such and such reptiles, reach out reptiles, so cliche. And they have that name and everything set up long before they actually start doing any good business practices. It's just fun to have a name and a logo and a t-shirt and a business card. But what you should be doing in the beginning is opening a separate bank account and tracking your expenses. If you can't tell me quickly how much you pay every month in rodents, which actually I couldn't tell you that now, Jess probably
I could.
should. but I think it's gone up significantly since Rob was
Well,
here.
yeah, that's.
So I don't know anymore. I know what it used to be, but anyway, yeah, that's the first thing. Do that right from the start.
One more.
Yeah, what do you got?
Brandon, are there any morphs besides Jags that have health issues?
Oh, good question. So the Jaguar Retics, I suppose it could become a health issue, but they have a wobble, very similar to a spider ball python. In fact, they probably are the same genetic, same allele, same morph as a spider ball python. And it has varying degrees that affects them in varying ways. We don't work with that morph here because I don't really want anything that's like deleterious to the animal. Other ones you have, different morphs and things that work great. They're beautiful. Let me see. Well, I should probably show you more like a base morph. This is actually a poor example because it only looks like a golden child. It's actually something different. But anyway, like a golden child, for example, is perfectly fine, totally healthy. Super golden childs, on the other hand, there's something about them where they can be fatal. They usually are. And even when they're not, they have a lot of issues. So a super form of a golden child is a problem. The heterozygous form, no problems whatsoever. It's probably almost like sickle cell anemia. If you have that trait, I might be getting a little bit advanced or whatever, but that trait in its heterozygous form can help keep you resistant to malaria. Whereas, which I don't have, it would have been great to have when I lived in Indonesia. Malaria is the pits. But if you get the homozygous form, that's where you get sickle cell anemia. So golden child is like that. Heterozygous, great. Super golden child, not so much. The real big one that I would say is worse than a jag and everything else would be the lemon glow or ivory. So lemon glows, they're pretty. It's a bloodline. They're similar to platinums. I mean, they are platinums, but the super form is different. A super platinum would be an ultra ivory. A super lemon glow would be the white.
Super chat.
Super chat. Woo! Would be the leucistic with the black eyes. Would be a super lemon glow. And a super lemon glow will die 100% of the time. It's always happened. We've had people that had them live, a handful of years. I think Robert Uvino had the longest living one. He's famous for his stuff with lemon glow. He's always been very forthcoming about it all. And she bred, I think, twice, and then she did die of the problems that they all die from. But Retics seem to be fairly healthy. There are some morphs that have little quirks, like super tigers seem to be a little bit derpy. Sometimes if you stack 3 and 4 homozygous traits on an animal, it can start to have little minor issues and stuff. But for the most part, they're pretty healthy. Avoid the black eye Lucies, and the heterozygous form lemon glow is okay, but I don't like having them because why proliferate that kind of a gene? So I try to work anything out that's Het Lucy out of my lines. Super golden childs, they're fine, just don't make them. Don't make the supers, and then the Jags are fatal in the super form and have neurological issues in the heterozygous form. What's the super chat?
Super chat is from Megan Quisenberry.
What's up, Megan? Thank you so much.
Could you please share the last anery of the season sold? My partner is watching, and it's his Christmas present.
The last anery sold. Oh my gosh, is it? Oh, it's Megan?
Yeah.
All right. Is this like the brand reveal or something? Hold on. Don't look at it yet.
Well,
I want to
do
show
you have a
good.
Christmas bow?
Okay, here it is. Oh. Check it out. Oh, she's all wet. And I don't think it's water. We'll put some water on her. Ew. Okay, grand reveal. Your snake with pee on it. Hold on, let me shine it up for you, Megan.
Put it under the light, too.
Yeah, do a little super chat snake washing dance. That's my snake scrubbing noise. Can you make the noise for me while I dance, please, Jess?
No, I think you need to stop both.
Okay, we'll stop both. Megan, here she is. Isn't she beautiful? A little extra shiny. Look at this one's got crazy rainbows. Rainbows for days. Very, very gray. Not very much area for the yellow to turn green, but where it is, it's crazy green. Look at that. You guys like that? Oh, look at that rainbow. This is her. This is a 50% Calatoa. Does anyone on here remember Jason Reed from Jason Reed's Retics? You don't see him anymore. We used to affectionately call them Reed ticks in the industry, but he's not really doing it anymore. And this is 100% Jason Reed bloodlines, so that's kind of special. One more little bloodline that we've preserved from the past, 90s, early 2000s of reptile keeping. Look at those silver side spears. They go almost all the way up. Check that out. Good looking animal. All right, that's her. So thank you, Megan. Hopefully you're happy. Or her, that's him, rather. And yeah, by the time he's all grown up, you should be looking at a really cool, tiny little anery male. Pretty neat. His dad is not much bigger than like that Karampa male, honestly, that I took out. Super, super small, even though he was a 50%er as well. So, right on. Well, is that it for the Patreon
That's
questions?
it, and we're out of time.
We're out of time, but not out of love. I love you guys very much. From now till Friday at 5, use the EMP swag coupon to get 25% off any of the old logo or new logo swag, so that get some stocking stuffers or whatever you guys want to do with it. Have fun with that. Thank you to everybody, including you, Megan, that bought all the snakes from us this season and everything. You guys are awesome. Look at our tiny little available rack over here. We still have some pretty amazing stuff, but from here to here is all we got. I think we did. Didn't we say we have about 40? About 40 left in inventory. Yeah. There's some pretty cool stuff in there, but not a ton of it. There's still a few. Tis the season, by the way, guys, if you want to get investment females, because a few of the high-end animals that didn't sell are like yearlings now. So crazy stuff like this Sunfire Snow Girl. It's the time to snack them up. But all right, so we are actually going to jump off of here, and then we're going to move over to what do we have our
Patreon live.
Patreon live stream for all the behind-the-scenes stuff. So if you're any level Patreon, we'll see you there. And our higher level Patreon guys, looking forward to hearing from you guys with your dedicated video chat time that you get there. To everybody here on YouTube, mwah, oh, tastes like anery pee. You guys take it easy. We'll catch you next time.